Okay, this is unacceptable. I didn't go through all the trouble of dressing up like a true Gopnik just so we can not wear the tracksuit when I'm not looking. Franklin, or as I like to call him Gopnik Shrek, is gonna get a knock on the door from the KGB any day now. Okay, crisis averted. Now we can safely continue with story mode without acquiring Stalin's golden train ticket to a luxurious resort in Siberia. We go back to the hood where some ugly hooker says some JB guy I've never heard of requires assistance. You know what that means? It means this. As I make my way to hijack somebody's car, I run over some dipshit who isn't paying attention. That is why you should not walk around looking into your phone. Some people have no self-restraint, and then there are others who are just pure suicidal when it comes to road safety. I'm not naming anybody here, but we all know the shit you pull off when crossing the street. Ain't that right, Philip? We go to the car which is parked on a handicapped spot and start towing it away. Wait, hold up. Is that the owner? I think that's the owner. If that's what the owner looks, then maybe he was allowed to park there after all. Being a bigger menace to traffic than my comrade Philip, we managed to get back to the police station. Great success. After that, I noticed this Beverly thing on the map, so I go there. We meet this dude who is a paparazzi. I don't know much about paparazzis, but the uneducated and unqualified opinion I do have about them is not very positive. Paparazzi dude says there's a celebrity who like anal and he wants to get a recording cause that'll make him rich or something. Gopnik Shrek reluctantly agrees. Then Beverly, dressed up like a skateboarder armed with a camera bigger than the Hubble telescope, tells Franklin, who is wearing a tracksuit so bright it gives off light in the dark, that they need to do it covertly. We find a celebrity getting it done from the back, which I definitely can show on YouTube and live the next day. Surprisingly, we are spotted and we gotta run. We hop in a car and a car chase follows. We keep recording the celebrity cause Franklin likes to troll every once in a while, you know. The bozo crashes and we are free to sell the footage to a Twitch simp. I have no idea how simps have so much money. The conversation was pretty funny though. Wow, violating people's privacy was an illuminating experience. You know I gotta do it to X.
If you don't want to become rich beyond your wife, you won't meet me again. But then again, you're not an idiot.
Vroom. But I am. We switch to Trevor, who is on a mountain wearing this. You know what? I changed my mind. I steal a car and tactically take out a biker. I need to acquire a fire truck so I can proceed with the story. I burned the stolen car, which also caused a wildfire, and sure enough, the fire truck I expected to come over and, you know, do its damn job didn't come. I do it again in the middle of the city, and would you look at that, the fire department in this town is a joke. After actually looking up how to get a fire engine, Frankie Boy acquires the communist flavored vehicle. We deposit at Lester's planning gaff or whatever this place is. I punch a man out of happiness and switch to Mikey. And it will not be a SadSlav story mode video if I didn't get pissed over the fact Michael isn't wearing the tracksuit I bought for him. Unfaithful suka. I punch a woman in her pussy for whatever reason and flee. After experiencing the trauma of wearing tight clothes, off we go to the heist crackden place. I'm sure my wife won't mind if I borrow her car to commit a pretty nasty crime, or at least aside from what I've been doing in Paletto. Go watch, it's good video. I'm kidding, of course, my videos are trash. As time goes on, the pain of watching them becomes lesser. You arrive and talk with Lester. What's cracking, Uncle Lester? The fucking floor, you fat bozo. And how have you been? I'm about to pull off some shit that will get me a target on my back for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, my former best buddy is trying to kill me. But the weed is kicking in, so life is good. Put on these anime clothes, I want you looking like a schoolgirl when we finally kiss by the end of today. Okay, but why are we burning the entire building? I found a big ugly spider the other day. Okay, fair. Fuck spiders, am I right? This roof straight out of Cybertron is pretty dope.
Putang ina! Si Optimum Pride! Puking inang yan, Optimum Pride! Babe, si Optimum Pride do.
We enter the FIB building dressed as a janitor. We do some pretty sick floor mopping and the occasional bomb placing because everyone likes to do some terrorism every once in a while. We also place a bomb under the toilet as a funny little prank when somebody comes to take a complete mudslide shit from eating too much beans. That's definitely something Philip will do. Assuming he hasn't already. We exit the building and commence loud air vibration. As Franklin, we go in as fake firemen. Lester did some computer magic to make sure no other firemen come. We enter and start running around to do the job the government the bills want us to do. We steal some containment drive and the building starts collapsing. Silly Western spies don't know how to make decent buildings. Good Soviet architecture consists of pouring so much concrete it would terrify Jesus Christ. You could be bombing a nuclear reactor for a month and it will be completely fine. Oh wait, we lose a guy I employed because of an explosion and Franklin could not help it, could he? After that another boom boom knocks Franklin out. When we finally wake up, the FIB agents start shooting us. Why? Because if you think about it, the FIB is a kind of police and Franklin is black. America, baby. I'm pretty sure South Sudan and the Central African Republic are less dysfunctional than this place. We rejoined the others and traversed to an elevator shaft. We rappelled down, which was pretty sick, not gonna lie, and bravely run away with our lives. We get our getaway and achieve terrorism. It only made sense for my Gopnik crew to come to Lester's house. Lester says he's got true Polish vodka, which is just regular vodka except it's 90% alcohol, which means silly Western spies will get alcohol poisoning after 2 shots, will require a liver transplant in 3, and won't need a liver transplant by the time they get to their 5th shot. And while Franklin is left alone in Uncle Lester's home, Mikey goes to meet with government urods and tell they're finally done. Which doesn't happen because the biggest prick I know comes along and pulls out a gun. But then some agents come and also pull out a gun. And then the SWAT team comes out of nowhere and also pulls out their guns. And then Meriwether pulls out a gun. Everybody gets a gun to pull out. It honestly could have only ended in one way, and that's with a firefight. Hell, even Trevor pulled up in his fucking dress from early to save Michael in a plot twist. A lot of shooting happens and Michael is reunited with slightly fatter Nicolas Cage. We make a run for it, which ends in the most embarrassing way possible. I escape death narrowly and yoink, a pretty sweet car. Then Mikey meets up with Trevor cause he asked him to. Debil Michael isn't careful enough if you ask me. The conversation was basically Trevor shit-talking Michael and confirming with Lester that they all are in fact gonna hit the Union Depository. I capture some Russian dashcam footage and switch to Franklin, who gets a knock on our door. Surprisingly it wasn't the KGB but some lass who requires Gopnik services. Lamar got in trouble, again, and we gotta save him. We call Lester who penetrated Franklin Zane's like 12 hours ago for help. We pull up at the sawmill with the boys and do a little scouting. We switch to Trevor and begin the assault. People start dropping left, right and center and we blast our way to Lamar. Mikey got in a little trouble so we save him and then escape. We tactically take out a cyclist and maybe a couple more and capture some more Russian dashcam footage. We set Lamar down and give him $50, which is like 2 million rubles. And get this bozo is disappointed. They start arguing cause why not? And then we start arguing with the government uros who were chilling behind the corner and want me to get rid of Trevor. What do you mean you never got approached by secret police with a request to disappear your best friend you've known since childhood? Happens all the time in the Warsaw Pact. It's good money, trust me, you can buy an entire loaf of bread instead of 2 slices. Anyway, remember when Michael did that movie thing? A side effect of which was a jet engine turning a human into kompot. Yeah, that. So the movie is gonna go on a premiere soon, and for some reason Mikey needs a goddamn suit. Bro, just wear the tracksuit. We pick one that will limit my lung capacity the least, and off we go into a limo with Jimmy himself, who is, and I quote, Jizzo in the movie Bizzo. Devin calls and he's pissed that Molly died, but Mikey proceeds to not give a billion. While we wait, Devin the suka comes and gives us a little hint. I really wanted to see the premiere, but I guess I gotta help my family who stayed at home to do dumb shit like makeup. Women. We go there and sure enough we get to do a little Stalingrad in my house. We clear the house of mercenaries and go upstairs where we get ambushed. However, the lights go out and tactical Jimbo takes out the bozo, and then teabags his father. A while later we see Michael making a phone call and committing treason against my regime by not wearing a tracksuit. We go home where we are greeted by a Mexican house cleaner. I think she's a really sweet lady. We change clothes cause fuck you Michael, and then get on with finally getting around to doing the Union Depository heist thing, yeah. At last, we go to Trevor's newly acquired strip club and pass by Wade having the time of his life and meet with the boys. Lester says we can do it in 2 ways, the smart way or the dumb way. If you saw my casino heist video, which you didn't cause nobody watches this shit, you will know what I chose. We then choose a crew and I choose to go cheap, so that way I have more money. Trevor doesn't approve and is like, eee, piece of shit Michael, what's attention, eee. Okay, enough. We pass by Wade, who's apparently been tracking his titty count for some time. Wade is a based Sigma male in disguise, honestly. He's gonna be the next Andrew Tate, just you wait. For him to start disrespecting women for no reason. We switch to Trevor, who is not wearing his tracksuit. You know what this means? That's right! I steal a car and go to the airport where I find a cooler car that the law enforcement instantly ruins. I hijack a private jet and parachute down into the strip club where I finally change clothes. I don't go to public restrooms often, but whenever I do, that's what I do. Anyway, we need the biggest driller to get into the vault. I pull up and the guy says I can't be here. I take his advice to heart, but I need the drillers for criminal purposes, so I steal it and run away from the cops. I deposit the big PG jets in a parking lot in the middle of the city because that's not suspicious and nobody's gonna notice it. Not even the law enforcement that was chasing me 5 minutes ago. You know what? I think we need a break from all this GTA content. That's right, this video is sponsored by fucking nobody. I got 28 subscribers, Christ's sake. My last video got 3 views, you absolute heroin addict. Use that thinking organ every once in a while. I'ma tell you a classic Polish joke instead. A German, a Russian and a Pole are on a train. They're going really far and need a way to entertain themselves. The Russian takes the initiative and says, "You know what, let's have a competition. Whoever can steal the most impressive item in the least amount of time wins." The German goes first and the Russian gets a stopwatch. The Pole turns off the light in the train wagon and off he goes. After 1 minute the light turns back on and the German is sitting beside them with a pair of suitcases he got from under the seats of the other passengers. "Very nice," the Russian says. "Now it's my turn." The German keeps track of the time and the Pole turns off the light. After 30 seconds the light turns back on. The Russian came back with watches and jewelry he stole from the passengers that were wearing them. "Quite impressive," the Polish dude says. "Now it is my turn to go." The Russian turns off the light and turns back on after 10 seconds. But the Pole is nowhere to be seen. A moment later, the train conductor comes in and says, "Sorry ladies and gentlemen, but the trip is over. Somebody stole the locomotive." Anyway, I steal a train because I was born in Województwo Małopolskie. It's very good fun, 10 out of 10. As we make our way back, Jimbozo calls and apparently he's been kidnapped. Daddy comes to the rescue and dies. Daddy comes back and sprays the vehicle with bullets with no regard for his son's life and murders a kidnapper, which is something I wasn't supposed to do apparently. We go again and we succeed. Great success. On the way, Mikey asks why Jimbozo got kidnapped and turns out Jimmy is a troll. He did a little too much trolling. In my opinion, everything checks out. When somebody describes themselves as a troll-based Sigma male who loves American Psycho on the internet, Jimmy is the person I think of instantly. A Chad only in name. In reality, he's just a fat prick. Remember kids, if you want to be a true Giga Chad, start working out, be nice to people, be confident in everything you do, be objective, honest and strive to be better for your own sake. Or you can just be a communist like me, I think that's easier. Anyway, we need to get a getaway and I found one. Esther says I should modify it to make it faster and more bullet resistant. And so I do the obvious thing and go over the top. Good thing we got full armor, cause we gonna be the biggest target in the 5-kilometer radius. You know what, Rockstar might as well add a magnet so that every bullet fired in my proximity turns midair to hit my car. It would save me a lot of money and have the same effect. I park in the handicapped spot because somebody with a car like that is unironically justified to park there without consequences. Now it's time to start the heist. It's time for the big one. A bunch of stonks would make you a good person, Michael. Here's your fursuit. God damn, Trevor, you ripped AF. Damn right, son, now suck on my mentity. Here's your schoolgirl uniform, Gopnik Shrek. Aight, let's get the crew. Don't mind me, just gonna play some CSGO. You know, that was a surprisingly short cutscene for something so big that's about to happen. We pick up our guy and ask him if he's ready to do something as equally stupid and brave as slapping Stalin in front of a crowd and then shit-talking him. Respect to that Mongolian guy who did it once. The response he gives me leads me to believe he has a profound mental retardation. Look at this stupid line. God, that's cringe. Franklin Chicky Bricky edition does what black people do best. Don't mind me, just waiting for a BLM to show up at my doorstep with pitchforks. A violent firefighter erupts, which ends badly for the NPCs, cause boy did I have a lot of practice. We steal the gold and Trevor in the chopper takes it away. We switch to Mikey, who is in a bit of a pickle. I like pickles, they're really nice. I even ate a whole jar my babushka made once, it was glorious. Also, when you're done with the pickles, you should also drink the liquid. It's really good for you and it tastes delicious. But the pickle Michael is in isn't exactly of the nice kind. Mainly because the entire police force present on the island is on our ass and we need to make sure that's not the case. We miraculously managed to push our way to the parking lot where the blinding shininess of a vehicle awaits. We escaped the police, which was disappointingly simple with the 5 stars on us. We switch to Trevor, who is accompanied by Uncle Lester armed with an RPG. I approve. It comes in quite useful since some urot helis start chasing us, trying to shoot us down and all that. We go through the windmills and we lose half our money because I went cheap. Yeah, oops. We drop our Thanos snapped treasure on that train we stole and skedaddle. We land at Trevor's little African quality airstrip where the hyped up crew awaits. Everybody's happy and lived happily ever after. Except we can't cause of those goddamn government dudes and that Devin cunt. We switch to Gopnik Trek, who just returned from the heist, and we get a knock on our door. Sure enough, it's the prick, and he wants us to kill Michael. Franklin is like, dude, the feds want me to kill Trevor and I can't kill them both, and Devin, the debil, is like, yeah, I don't care, you got 3 options, kill Michael, kill Trevor, or neither, and have every single person with a badge come after you like gold eggs or some shit. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I was born in Poland, lived there a while, but moved abroad, and living even for a single minute in Eastern Europe is horrible enough. Sorry, did I say living? I meant surviving. But my stupid ass wants to go back to Poland and live there, so yeah. On top of that, one of the countries I want to visit someday is Bosnia. That's right, I wanna risk my foot stepping on a landmine to get a few pictures and post them on Twitter or something dumb like that. So you know what? Yes, I have a death wish. Screw you, Devin. You don't know that Slavic lifestyle like I do. It has a large mortality rate anyway, and your petty little threat is something I can eat like a snack. We call Uncle Lester to ask for help. He says to come over, probably hoping I'll show him my anus so he can fist me or something. But first we change drip. We can't be looking like we attend rich people parties with champagne and chandeliers and food that's expensive because the chef made it look nice. That's disgusting. We pull up and start undressing, explaining the situation. He comes up with a plan where we set up a trap for these bozos trying to screw us all. We go pick up the brain-dead, clumsy, just all-around Jar Jar Binks that is Lamar, who Franklin thought was the perfect person to help him in this situation. Davai. We go to the foundry and tell Lamar to warn us when the bad guys come. Sure enough, the boys are there waiting for me, and I gotta say, this is a pretty good situation. I mean, none of them pulled the trigger yet, so that's good. I call that a great success. Once this ticking bomb situation is defused, we start slaying mercenaries. We held off the enemy pretty well and cleared the area outside. We do the obvious thing and start brainstorming who we need to kill to finally live a normal life. All in all, the government, Suka, the Chinese dude I've been ignoring, and the Stretch who I even forgot existed. We call Lester to give us whereabouts. We start off as Franklin to kill the Chinese guy. It goes surprisingly well as I eat a sticky bomb and then do a drive-by on the survivors. It is now Mikey's turn to take out Stretch. We get a good position and start dropping bolas. Once we finish, Mikey disappears faster than a kulak in the Soviet Union. Now it's time for the government urot. We blow him up in the violent death that he definitely deserves. Once I escape from the cops, Lester tells us the whereabouts of the rich cunt Devin. My instinct made me steal a car and go there, but not before capturing some Russian dashcam footage. We pull up like a capybara and start dropping the guards. Once we clear the place, we capture the Kurvishon, who's hiding in a box. Virgin rich western spy. I kidnap him and off we go to meet the boys. This guy was pretty annoying, he wouldn't shut up and I had to deal with him whining the entire way. Pretty satisfying though, considering what an absolute asshole he was. We meet up and we start shit-talking him because hell yeah. We push the car down into the water, where it explodes. Makes sense. Franklin leaves, Mikey gets in his car, says a badass one-line which will never be as legendary as what the Mongolian guy did, and drives away. Now enjoy 30 minutes of credits. Also, I got this report thingy which I never knew existed. Is it different for everyone? Cause if it is, I really need to do a better job next time. When is next time? I don't know, whenever I feel like playing story mode all over again to see the different endings. In the meantime, subscribe to Life of Boris.